Y'all need to get this, hear this, and y'all been waiting for it, and so have we. We are live. I mean, like for real live, like in Atlanta live, like up close and personal. What you need, husband?
In Atlanta.
Live with the Barclays, Richard and Shirley Barclay. Y'all say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Oh.
Hello. We are ready. I want to thank y'all, brother and sister Barclay, so much for taking out time of your schedule today to talk to us. Well, tonight, rather,
Yes.
to talk to us, share some wisdom and some insight as we're navigating through this marriage, these covenants, these in love relationships with one another. So we so appreciate you all for coming.
Mm-hmm.
And we just like to start off with we like to do this game most likely to, right? And so the most likely to game is more of a way that we see how over the years you two have learned each other or what you know about each other, right? And
Yes.
so we just asked some fun questions is to share some laughs and just share some like finding out what do you know about each other or what you think you know, right?
Okay.
Or what you thought you
What we thought.
and to show this is a safe space and that we have fun along with this. Marriage is fun, marriage is safe, right? And so we just want to start off with these most likely to questions, right? So how the thing goes is ask the question, and you quickly, without much thought, you quickly point to whoever this is that it applies to. quickly. Y'all got it?
We got it.
All right.
Even if it's
Even if it's you. Y'all ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay. Who is most likely to take the longest to get ready? I like the honesty. I always like to start off with that one because that tells me what kind of show you're about to have.
Yes.
Who is most likely to make friends with strangers while traveling? Really?
Wow.
Yes.
No way. No way, preacher man. Seem like you'll just be in everybody. Are you saved? Are you? Let's see. Who is most likely to say "I'm sorry" first? Oh wow!
She batting 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Really rich.
Is it hard for you? We got two more. Who is most likely to stay calm during a crisis? Oh, we got a tie. We got a tie.
50-50.
You thought you was calm, apparently, right?
Yeah.
Y'all both pointed at each other. Let me ask you again. Who's most likely to stay calm during a crisis? Yeah.
Very interesting. Very
I love it. I love it. And we're talking about finances today. So just want to know who is most likely to buy something that they don't need. I love the honesty.
To what extent? To what extent, Sister Shirley?
To what extent?
Yeah, to what extent?
I like to shop. If I
Yes, a setup question. Go ahead.
yes,
Come
I
on
like
with
to
it.
shop, and if I see something that I like,
Right.
although I may not need it,
Right.
I'll just get it, give it to somebody else. Many times I give it to other people.
There you go.
Oh, for other people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, make room for your own blessings.
Yes.
Yeah. I was at Portia's house today. She said all them boxes that was delivered was for other
Other
people.
people.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what she said.
I find it a little portion.
All right. So you all have been married for how long?
51 years.
51 years.
Mercy. That's almost
How-
as long as I've been on this earth.
That
That's
The
51 years.
Mhm.
automatic bid in heaven.
They say.
Lord.
How have you stayed married for 51 years? What has been the core of marriage for you guys, right? So speak on that for us and tell us what the attraction was. How did y'all meet? Well, come on, give
Yeah,
us the
who
story.
ran after who? Who chased who?
Go ahead. Let him tell his side of the story that he've told for years and years.
Oh, wow.
We met the very first day of college. I had unpacked my bags, met some guys, and we were trying to find a girl's dorm. Apparently, she and her new friends had met, and so they were trying to find a boy's dorm.
Uh-huh.
We met around the flagpole nearest their dorm, and she was had eyes
Hmm.
for an all-American high school football player,
Okay.
and I was at college to get an education.
You-
And he had muscles everywhere.
Oh, man.
Orange is one of his favorite colors. So he's probably still wearing that orange jumpsuit that Texas State Penitentiary system.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
man.
But the reality is we met first day of college, and I chased her 3 years until she caught me.
Mhm. So she
Yeah.
I like how you put that.
Yeah, I chased her 3 years until she caught me. We ended up getting married while we were both juniors in college,
Oh, wow.
and
Interesting.
married ever since.
wow.
That's
Nice.
very interesting.
Nice.
How did you manage in college? I mean, both young and whole life ahead of you.
Shirley has been a very serious person all her life. Most of our dates were in the library.
Mhm.
Because I was there to get an education.
Shirley grew up in the rural, on a farm. Family had couple of 100 acres of land. She grew up outside of the city, and she was the oldest grandchild on the farm, if you will. Her grandparents lived 100 yards behind her, her father and her mother's house. She had an aunt on one side of her, another aunt on the other side of her, and uncle. So she grew up around older people. She is the oldest of 4 girls. I'm the knee baby of 15.
Very interesting.
And so being as serious as she was, and that has, helped me throughout ministry because of her loyalty and her dedication and her seriousness. She just, it wasn't a whole lot of chicanery with her. She took life serious. She took the relationship. She took family seriously. And of course, she still does to this very day. So.
Right. So y'all been the 51 years. The core has been what for you? Would you say?
Now I'm a preacher. All right. So you're gonna have to start asking her some of these questions. I finished a series of sermons. In fact, 3 months worth of preaching on the meaning of marriage and the decline of marriage. And now I'm dealing. Started last Sunday dealing with singles. The reality is half of our congregations are made up of single folk. Half of the adult population in America is single people. And the church is somewhat at fault in not addressing this demographic, within our congregation. And so during the marriage series, I said to the church, and it is something that has been the core of our own lives and our own marriage, that the core of marriage is a promise. It's a vow. The core is a promise. We make that promise on a day when everything, for the most part, is perfect. She's in a dress, he's in his tux. Right. She will never look better than she will as she looks on that day. And the same for him. Family and friends are all there. And we make a promise. And the promise that we make is, I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to cherish you in sickness. Time you make the promise, both of you are well. I'm going to love you. I'm going to be with you. I vow to stay with you in sickness and in health, in poverty and in wealth, leaving all others for you until death shall part us. Now, we make that promise when everything is okay.
Everything's going good.
And all of a sudden, life starts happening.
Yes.
And now it's, I promised until somebody else come around the corner with a little more money, with much better health. And so at the very core of marriage, for me, and my understanding of the Bible, is the vow, is the promise. And what happens is life happens and people forget that promise.
Covenant.
They forget.
And we make it when everything's
going well.
Well, everything's perfect.
It's so true. So true.
And then life starts happening.
Right.
And we forget that promise that we made. Then all of a sudden, no, that's my money.
Right.
That's my car. That's my house. That's my job.
Right.
And we were not thinking of any of that
Right.
on the
The
day
day of.
we made that promise.
That's right.
And so people always need to be reminded of the vow. And we made that vow and that promise for family and friends and God.
Most importantly, God.
And so, because at the end of it, we said, "So help me
So
God."
help me, God.
So,
That is so good.
so for us, and listen, 51 years has not been with its challenges. It has not been without its ups and its downs, its trust and its mistrust and its distrust. But we kept the promise. We kept the vow.
At what point during the marriage did you guys have to remind yourselves of those vows? Were there any instances where
Oh my
it had to be
goodness!
shared?
Yeah, I mean, she's been crazy sometimes.
Right.
Look who's talking.
No.
No.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Sister
She's gotten crazy. And
But you know her level of crazy.
and I've gotten crazy.
Yeah.
See, I come from a single parent household. My daddy left the house
Oh, wow.
when I was 5 years old.
With all those siblings.
Yeah.
Mercy.
For her, hers has been one of stability. She's always had mother. She's always had father. She's always had that unit.
Right.
And she brought all of that, to the marriage. So, needless to say, when stuff got rocky, she was the stabilizing force. Me, I saw Daddy come and go,
Mercy.
and so, first Christmas, our son's first Christmas. He's 6 months old. He was born in July. His first 6 months old. I bought him a train.
A tricycle.
Yeah, bought him all that. Because I didn't get it.
You
didn't get
missed
it.
out on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And my attitude to her was, he'll grow into it.
I was about to say, wait.
Yeah.
He played
6
with
months old.
He played with the train.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I never got one.
Forgot.
And so, but again, her stability, her family unit, and I dare say, I'm not embarrassed to say that she's kept this marriage together more than me.
Blessing.
All right.
It's a blessing.
And
God knew
so,
what he was doing when he chose you guys. I mean, he knew what he was doing when he chose us individually, and he chose you guys to be together.
Wow.
He knew that you needed her stability, and vice versa.
Yes.
and I'll be quiet after this one. So say something. The greatest compliment, one of the greatest compliments I received in life. About 15 years ago, the guy who introduced us, we met each other the first day. She grew up, and we were freshmen. This guy was a senior. They knew each other in the area in which we didn't grow up in the same area. But he was the one who just kind of encouraged us to, to get together. His name was Nathan Hollis. Long story short, the Dallas Cowboys wanted to draft him. He was an All-American basketball player at our college. At our college, we didn't play football in those days. We played all of the other sports, but football was not one of them. About 15 years ago, he died. He had become high school principal, and then he went to central administration, assistant superintendent. Massive heart attack. Wife called me to do the eulogy. So we flew down to Texas. We had an opportunity to see some college folk that we hadn't seen. in about 2 years.
Mhm.
Had a wonderful reunion, wonderful time of celebration. After it was all over, we're standing at the cemetery, reminiscing about those good old EDBC days. Our Baptist preacher, at the time, her dad was a Baptist preacher. And so as we began to reminisce, one of the guys, we call him T-Wee, his name is Tommy Jamerson, All-American basketball player, said to the both of us, in a group of other, students that we went to school with, he said, man, we used to sit around the rec hall and look at each other and predict who was going to make it, who was going to be successful in life. And we all said Barclay was going to make it. Brooks was going to make it.
That was my maiden name.
And the reason that they said that I was going to be successful is because I had books behind me. Way back there, when all of us are freshmen and sophomores, these two are going to make it, because, and me in particular, wasn't a very good preacher at the time, all right, but I was going to make it. And the reason is because she was pushing and she was behind me.
That's all right.
And I think he was largely right. And so, we are 51 years later.
Almost 52.
And at this point, it's cheaper to keep it.
That's true.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think marriage, what is it that makes marriages fail or succeed? What do you think is the line there?
My judgment is folks don't know how to be married.
Yeah.
See, it takes time to know how to be married. Because oftentimes, and when I'm counseling couples, they come in here, they sit across the desk from me. And one of the first things I say to them is, I'm not interested in your wedding. And wait a minute, that's why we came here. I said, I'm not interested in your wedding. And I explained to them that wedding is an event.
Correct.
If it starts on time, it's going to last 30 to 45 minutes. And I say to them, look, I don't even have to come. Well, Dr. Barclay, that's why we came here, for you to officiate our wedding. I said, I'm not interested in your wedding. I said, I'm interested in your marriage. Your marriage is what's going to take place after the wedding is all over.
Absolutely.
And in order to be married, you're going to have some skill.
Right.
You're going to have a skill set.
Right.
And you come in here. In fact, I've said to them, y'all make me sick. All right. I mean, you all lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
I ain't hating that. But see, I know that stuff ain't gonna last.
Absolutely.
All right. Biggest shock of our life it was honeymoon morning.
That's right.
All right.
Don't tell that part.
All right. I won't tell that part. But needless to say, we.
I ain't heard nothing from you all day.
All right. Look, we're both at a small religious college.
Okay.
We're both Christians now. All right. But we never spent a night together. Didn't know what she looked like in the morning.
Interesting.
and this is what she said,
Don't
don't tell.
tell.
So I ain't gonna tell it. But here's the reality. One of the reasons that marriages fail is what I call unrealistic expectations.
Unwrap that.
Yeah, unrealistic. That here is a person who was raised with mama and daddy, and she's the oldest of 4 girls, and the stability of a grandmother and a grandfather are 100 yards behind her, and uncles and aunts on either side of her. She's the youngest one in all of that clan. All right. So she brings that, and I bring a single mother who listen, did the very best she could. All right. You know, I grew up with some bad habits.
Brokenness.
And I brought all of that to the marriage. And one of the first hiccups we had was that her mother picked up after her daddy. Her mother cleaned up after her daddy. Her problem, she ain't had no brothers. So she never learned how to clean up or to pick up behind another male.
Right.
She had sisters,
Right.
and her mother took care of her daddy. But now she's married to me. And, you know, I lay a coat on the
Chair.
on a chair, come back and
It's still there.
coat still on chair.
Still on chair.
You know, I'm the last one to get out the bed, and you know, she's educator, so you know she's up and going to school, and you know I come back home in the afternoon, bed unmade, and so I'm saying to her, you know, that's my coat from Sunday night still on that chair. She said, yes, it's where you left it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, baby, you're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying it's still on the chair. She said, yeah, it's where you left it. Okay, Shirley, what I mean was, why isn't it hung up? Richard, your coat. And the bed is unmade. You're the last one out of it. Next morning, she gets up, goes to work, and makes up
My side of the bed.
her side of the bed while I'm still late. Okay, an unrealistic expectation. My expectation is, you know, you're gonna pick up behind me.
Right.
You know, you're gonna make up the bed. Well, you know, those are an illustration of some things that we bring,
Right.
because we don't sit down,
Right.
like money and like budgeting.
Right.
We don't discuss those kinds of decisions. We just assume that the other person ought to know. And so conflict arises because we are not clear or clear enough in what we expect from the other.
Absolutely.
And 51 years
Late.
later, if he's last person in bed, he makes the bed up. If I'm the last person in bed, I make the bed up.
You know, we tell these stories all the time to audiences across the United States. And I have to tell fellas, I said, now, I know what y'all sitting out there thinking. I wash clothes.
He should have.
I know how to separate the clothes,
Okay.
fold the clothes.
Mhm.
I know how to vacuum. I know how to clean the house. I know how to make beds. I said, now, fellas, your perception is that I'm henpecked.
Mm.
I heard an old preacher say, it's all right to be henpecked if you got a good hen that knows how to peck. All right. And so I got a good hen. And on top of all of that, you know, when early in the marriage, when we were both still going to school, I'm still doing graduate stuff, and she's at home, she's not going to school, she's already got her degree, but she's in a profession teaching, but we got 2 kids. And I learned real early that if I want the kind of attention that I want, all right, I had to realize that she couldn't go to school all day long, come home, cook, take care of the boys, and then take me. And there were some nights when I was winking and blinking and had Luther down low. Oh, I'm sorry. And so what I had to do was to help her in order to get some of my own needs met.
Free up some of that time. Absolutely.
And so, and I tell the ladies at our church, now you can't have a headache every night. Okay. But again, those are those unrealistic expectations where our wives go out and they work 8 hours and then they come home only to do the second shift while we can remote and chill out. And I promise I'm through. All right.
Sister Shirley, what you want to say about some of that stuff?
Wait a minute. Some of that stuff. Come on, Kay.
Well, first of all, I was not looking for the boys' dorm.
Okay. She went all the way back.
Yes, I went all the way back. I have to because he keep telling that. But I went looking for the science building, the library, so I can know where everything was.
Right.
It's just that when we came up to the flagpole, we met them, the other guys, and he was one of them, and I met him and spoke to him and the other guys that were there. But I was not interested in any of those guys because my father had told me when I went to college, he said, you're there for an education. And you can always find a husband. You get an education. And that was the most important thing, was getting an education. And he told me that if once I got education, he would give me my own car and give me an apartment to stay in.
Nice.
And so I was looking forward to that after I graduated from college, and not for a husband, because this is what my father had told us.
Yeah.
All my sisters and I to do.
Yeah.
But he one thing he said was that it took 3 years before I accepted his hand in marriage. When he asked me the first year we went together. He asked me the second year. He gave me a sweetheart ring the first year. Then the second year he gave me a promise ring. And the third year he gave me an engagement ring. So he was very romantic.
Was.
Still romantic.
All right.
Very romantic.
Get them verbs right, girl.
So and I knew he was going somewhere.
Right. Absolutely.
So it sounds like you married your dad. He's a Baptist preacher. And your dad was a Baptist preacher.
Yes, but I didn't want to marry a preacher.
Okay.
At first, because I saw some of the things my mom was going through.
Oh wow.
With people, but I saw where he was going, that he was genuine. He wanted something out of life.
Right.
And he was sincere in what he wanted to do. And so I said, this is going to work. And I would, make it work. And I did, because we, when we had started having our sons, I wanted our sons to have a father that cared, who wanted to, was a person who wanted to work, took care of his family. I've always wanted that for my sons, and I wanted them to see that through their father, and so I remained there. Now, did he tell you? He didn't tell you that he took me home, right? He took
you home.
He took me back home.
Okay.
Because my father told him when he asked for my hand in marriage that if you ever felt like you wanted to hit her or something, you bring on back home.
I heard that same
Oh,
story.
he took you home.
He
home,
took
like,
me home,
take
home.
Here you go.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he
took-
left that out.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't tell that. He took me back home.
Well, he started talking about challenges, but he didn't.
Was one of the challenges because he remembered what my daddy said, and so he took me back home. But the thing
So
about it,
you got in the car.
yeah, we got in the car.
And
The only thing that he would not let me pack a suitcase. He just said, "Take it home."
No, you're conflating.
No, don't. He said, don't pack a suitcase. I'm gonna take you home. So I said, okay, and he took me home, and we sat and talked to my mother and my father.
Oh.
And he told me he was bringing me back home. And
Okay, conflating two different things.
that was about 25 years later.
No. When I took her back home, we were having challenges in the marriage. We had become empty nesters. Both boys, 2 years apart, were both in college. All right. And this is good for your audience to hear, that when we were raising the boys, a lot of her time was directed toward those boys, as it should have been. I'm doing graduate work and postgraduate work. She's in the school system. She's raising the kids. We're raising the kids, but mostly her. And you just drift apart. And I had learned how, at that point, to take care of myself. Now the boys are gone. That just kind of magnified itself, because I didn't necessarily need for her to cook for me.
I had taught him.
You what?
Had taught him how to cook.
And I was working late hours, either going to school or doing church work. And she came home from school, and she got all this time on her hands. She didn't have to cook. All right. Either for me or for the boys. And so now all of this time is on her hand. And now she wanted more of my time. All right. And because mine is occupied with ministry and school and that kind of stuff, I said to her, listen, go to the library, volunteer. Go to the hospital, volunteer. I said, listen, why don't you just go on back to school and get your graduate degree? That's what she's still doing. Still working on a master's. So just one thing led to another. And her dad, the day I asked for her hand, said, Richard, I don't have any sons, and I certainly welcome you into our family. The only thing I would say to you is this: if you ever have to hit her, bring her on back home.
I heard that same story.
All right.
Exact same thing.
If you ever hit her, just bring her on back home. And so one night, an argument got out of hand, and I raised my hand to hit her. And I remember what that early man said.
Big bird. He's short, but he
That dude had more guns than military, and knew how to use them. All right, nicest guy you don't want to meet in your life. In fact, I patterned my house after his. All right. He would sit on the corner of the little bar stool while his daughters were sitting around the table. He's talking to them. But that was his chair. Nobody was sitting in this chair. When we built our house, she asked me, what do you want? I said, well, in the bathroom, I want mine higher than yours, so I don't have to stoop over so far. I want an office, and I want a little bar in the kitchen where I can sit on the corner, just like your daddy. All right. But long story short, I took her back home, and her mother, and told her dad and her mother what was going on. And if there is ever a young lady who loved her father, this is one. She absolutely loved her father. And so her father said to her, he shared with us the challenges that he had with her mother. And she learned that day his feet were like mine, made of clay. All right. And I'm glad he shared it with them. And he told them the struggles that he and her mother had, and how they worked through it. And I was about money. We didn't have none. And so we were fighting over stuff we didn't have. And he said to me, and said to us, he said, go down to the bank, call the bank name, get what you need, and tell me so-and-so I'll be down next week in cosign.
Wow.
Right.
That money subject.
Yes.
So we got what? Communication and finances. They always say those two biggest things that kind of like be the thing that kind of do the thing in marriages, right? And so a lot of times how we spend money or don't spend money, right, is indicative of how we are, who we really are, how we see ourselves or whatever. So let's jump on those money questions. What would you say is how we spend our money? How does that reveal our heart? What we're spending our money on? Let's talk about that. And then how do you do that?
The biblical perspective is Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So we have a tendency, and this is the heart of this is selfishness, unrealistic expectations. This is mine. This is yours. And it takes time for mine and yours to become ours. The number one cause for divorce in America is money. We think it's sex. No, it's money. Because we think I'm out here working on my job. I'm sweating. I'm breaking my back. And because we have not clearly communicated with one another, the goals, for the marriage we keep them isolated. And because we don't communicate with one another, we just start working in isolation, even to the point where um, one has an account that the other doesn't know anything about. In fact, at one point in time, she had some getaway money.
Getaway. It's called getaway.
Yeah, getaway. I'm through with this thing, and so, but but couples need to communicate. We all don't handle money with the same degree of integrity in the marriage. When we started out, the finances were managed by her. She handled money better than I did at the beginning of the marriage. She wouldn't spend anything on herself. Any extra money that I had, I would give it to her to listen. Look, baby, go and buy you a dress. She'd take the money and go and buy the boys some slacks or some shoes or something. So she went without in order for them to have. Now, trust me when I tell you, she's made up since. Okay. So early on, she handled the money better than I did. As the marriage went on, I handled the money better than she did. And now we're back to kind of being equal with it. And so, but what couples need to do is to clearly communicate. Now, look, each couple, will have the prerogative to set up their church's finances and budgets based upon their particular family. I'm not going to tell folks you can have this, you can have that. No, you all need to communicate that. We find it best. There's a central account. That's where my check goes to. All right. We got automatic deposit. That's where my check goes. That's where all of the bills are paid. She gets a retirement check. She puts it in her account. Look, I trust the lady implicitly. I have some play money for my golf and any little extra meet and revival money I get, that's where it goes. And so, that's helpful to us to have 3 different accounts or 4. There's a savings over here. There's a check. All of the bills are paid. I see what bills are being paid. I pay most of them. I don't pay all of them. I pay most of them. And she sees when the bills are paid.
But you came to the table and sat down and had a conversation about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So because you said the word trust, right? So when couples don't give like that full access, right, to what they have, for instance, that under the mattress money, right? Or that my account, my money type of stuff, right? What would you say is the root of that? Is it that a sign of distrust or not bringing all of everything to the marriage? Like, what is?
My judgment is it would be a sign of lack of transparency, distrust. Not fully there yet. I'm not exactly sure. What you're gonna do when you get mad. But I think distrust is at the heart of it.
And that comes from what has been seen in the past, probably from just other things. You know how sometimes we live under that Pharaoh mentality, like I don't know, be broke again, so I got me under the mattress money.
Yeah, well, see again, that's rooted in the way that. See, I tell folks all you need to know how to be married. Well, how do you know how to be married if you've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
All right.
Right.
She saw it.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Mm.
I didn't see it.
Mhm.
I learned it from her.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, uh, and I will tell you about this lady that if I get a cold, she gets pneumonia.
Mm.
Uh, so uh, I know uh, she's not going to hurt me.
Mhm.
Not only is she not going to hurt me, she's not going to hurt us.
Mhm.
She's always going to do what's in the best interest of our family. And uh, you see all of these books, surrounding this place. There are more than 3,000 hardbound books.
Mhm.
There's a room over there with 10,000 tapes in it, and I've been collecting books for more than 50 years.
Mhm.
And when we were both in college, going to school, uh, working jobs after school,
Mhm.
and then here comes the boys, 2 years apart. Um, and I said to her, and I actually shared this with you when we were off air, that uh, any extra money that we have, either from my check or from your check, give it to me. And I took the money and I went and bought books. And I said to her, one day, these books are going to feed us. And these books are going to take care of us. So she was willing to invest
Investment.
in me and invest in my success,
Mhm.
invest in my ministry. Um, and it's what I call the PhD degree.
PhD.
PhD.
Uh-huh.
A whole lot of women will have that degree. Put husband through.
PhD.
Right.
PhD. I like that.
Yeah, they put the husband through.
Right.
They made the sacrifices
Right.
in order for him to be successful, uh, in hopes that he will turn around and put wife through. And that's what has happened to us. I did all of the graduate stuff. And then at age 50,
Mhm.
she went back to school. Boys, boys are gone now.
Mhm.
She went back to school to get a master's degree in counseling for two reasons. Reason number one, she had the opportunity with a principal who uh, liked her values, liked her standard, and I ain't gonna go there with it. Uh, Not like her,
Right.
because
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah.
um, he saw something in her, and her to go back to school and get a master's
Mhm.
for counseling, and held the job open
Oh, mercy.
until she got that degree. Uh,
That's all right.
and the second reason she did it is because she saw the impact that all of the counseling that I had to do at church.
There you go.
And so, she kind of wanted to help me.
Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
So it was two pronged for her. So when I say to you, if I get a cold, she gets pneumonia.
Yes.
All right.
That's
I
it.
heard
That's
that
heavy.
when you
That's
said
heavy. Yeah.
I heard it when you said
Uh,
that.
Heavy.
And so, but again, to the point of the question, a whole lot of communication mixed with a whole lot of trust, believing that both parties will have the best interest of the family. And couples need to learn is the principle of delayed gratification. You can't get everything you want right now. You have to delay some stuff. Now, we can get anything we want right now.
Mhm.
We can buy anything we want to
That's
buy.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
we go to New York, get a hotel room, spend 3 days over in the garment district.
All right.
And you know,
And golf.
she'll take 2 suitcases. Yeah, 2 suitcases. All right. One suitcase with nothing in it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And you know, if you see it, hey, you know, yeah, we can afford it. You sacrifice long enough.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well deserved.
It's time now for you to get some gratification out of the sacrifices you made. And relative to golf, she was the one who started playing golf.
Really?
Right.
You should go out. What was your take on that, Sister Shirley?
For relaxation.
And now that's what he do.
Yes. To just get out there and just relax and enjoy himself. I want him to do that. And he can do it by himself or with other people when he go out there.
Or with William Stevens.
Uh-huh.
I was just getting ready to ask you. I was going to ask you why you chose golf.
Yes.
Explain.
Wow.
Yeah. Relaxation.
That's
And
good.
take his mind off, you know, a lot of church things. Just,
Yeah. Go volunteer and then you go do golf.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said the word invest, right?
Mhm.
And so what do you say to that couple that that the wife or the husband is investing in their future and their books and they're always putting into what will make them better, but the spouse may look at it like you wasting money, right? They don't quite understand. No, I'm investing in myself just because you aren't, right? Like going to conferences. I see you a lot on the road. Fred would be at work. Somebody got to stay home and work, right? There are people in marriages that kind of think that that's sometimes you're doing too much, even though you're invested in yourself. What would you say to that couple where that husband or that wife doesn't understand why you're spending so much money in this, or like you just said, these books going to pay for something, but they're not seeing the fruits of that.
Yeah. It's the age-old question: what's in it for me? What's in it for us?
Right.
And that's where communication comes in. How is my wife going to benefit from this? How are the children going to benefit from this? And so what spouses need to do is to answer for the other, what's in it for you? And if you are not able to show them or to communicate clearly enough to them what's in it for them, they're not going to buy into it. But if you clearly communicate the value in this additional training, this additional degree, this additional certification, what is going to provide for us. But remember, it's like the vow that you promise.
Come on.
When everything was in a perfect environment, all right? And you made that promise not knowing that Hoochie Mama was down the street somewhere. You know, Sweet Willie was around the corner somewhere. But you made the promise. And she bought into it that day. He bought into it that day. Not knowing, you know, the vicissitudes of life, what was going to take over.
Yes.
But you get the promise. And so sooner or later, the fruit of this investment, this sacrifice, is going to have to be clearly seen in the hope and encouragement.
Well, our time is well spent. I know
Okay.
it's past Sister Shirley bedtime.
Yes.
We just-
You're
we got
absolutely
one more
right.
question we want to ask, and then we want to go ahead on and with what the Neil appeal for the week be. So you've said yourself that you counsel, we know that you counsel a lot of couples, and what would you say are the main money problems that constantly arise with couples, and what do you advise? Like, for example, the person that's more risky and they're always taking these investment risk, and then you're not seeing, you know, it ever come through, right? And so you got the spouse that's like, you making too many risks. You taking too many risks, but the other is like, I'm trying to get ahead. They mean well. They're doing what's best. Not seeing it come through like it's been planned or what it's supposed to do. And so there are some that have higher tolerances for risk than others, right? So what would you say to that couple that is trying to get the family on top or keep the family going, but the spouse is just like, enough is enough. I haven't seen it yet. Enough is enough. We're losing this and da 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 da.
Get rich schemes, uh, high risk. You have to be careful with that. At this point in our life, I'm not taking high risk adventures. Right? I'm too close to the finish line. I got to be sure that the funeral expenses are paid. All right.
Oh man.
And so, at what point in the couple's life, you're young or younger, okay, you might have a chance to rebound.
Right.
But if you're over 50 or you're over 60 or you're over 70, in fact, my investment advisor told me a few years ago when he looked at some of the stocks that I had invested in, he said, you may want to not be so aggressive in your stocks over here. Well, I got those stocks 10, 15 years ago. 20 years ago. I didn't know they were high risk stuff.
Right.
He said, well, what's your risk tolerance? I said, at this age, I don't have any risk tolerance. All right. And so depending on what age they are, I certainly recommend caution. If the kids are gone, you all are trying to save for retirement, get ready for retirement, you may want to be a little less aggressive in your risk taking because you just don't have enough runway to land that plane. And so, but again, that's where communication comes in.
Right. And actually sitting down and having that talk.
Conversation.
Do
Yes.
you suggest budgeting for families?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I want to tell this funny story before we go. So my mom, listen, she had coffee with every morning. My dad, he would just probably turn the water on for the coffee. But anyway, so she would do her tithing, paying her money when she pulled, got from her check. So when income tax season would come around, she would pull off some more for that too, again. And my dad would say, Virginia, you giving the church all that money. You done took the money out the first time. They giving it back. This one they giving back to us. You giving them some more. And for the longest, my dad could not understand.
Yeah.
You gave already from this. And my mom was just like, the Sonny, this is what she would call him. But give me something on that before we go. And what's your take on that?
Well, you're asking the preacher question. Huh? I certainly believe in the biblical stewardship, the biblical concept of the tithe and the offering. I think it's always interesting when I hear statements like, you're giving the church all this money. It's amazing that it's only at the church where that statement is made.
Only at the church.
Yeah, it's never at the mall, at the mechanic shop. It's only at the church. I do believe in the biblical principle of the tithe and the offering. And I do believe in the biblical response to that. God says, I will open up, and I love the term they use, windows, not window. I will open up windows and pour you out a blessing that you won't have room in there to receive. And again, now God ain't a slot machine, all right? But God knows how to take care of his own. He knows how to bless his folk. He knows how to give us what we need when we need it. And so couples need to certainly prioritize the firstness of God in their lives and in their marriage. We both give to God out of the base of our own income. Now, only way I know what she gives is when I check the church records.
It comes out automatically.
Yeah, and I've said to her, you I don't know what a retirement check is. Now I can find out. And I'm looking at what she give, like, girl, you getting that kind of money in? It's she knows, we know how God has blessed us. And so neither one of us, we give separately, we give independently of each other. And I don't tell her how much to give. She knows the biblical principle, gives accordingly. And so I will certainly encourage couples to prioritize their giving, because listen, you and I, and we all need all the help we can get from God. And so that's not the one I want to be shortcut. And my last remarks is to you guys. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for your podcast. And it's clear that you're helping a whole lot of folks. And I want to commend you and congratulate you on what you are doing to help couples.
Thank you so much. We thank y'all so much. And we always end the show with the Neil's Appeal, where we the guest gives us something, or we come up with something together that we all can work on until the next time we see each other again. It's an action step. It's a call to action. It's what did you get from today, and what can you add to your life today going forward? And Brother Barclay just said it, prioritizing the giving. But is there something else you want to add to that for the Neil's Appeal, like what they can work on for this week as couple, you or Sister Shirley, you with the shopping? Is something you can help the couples until we meet again, that they can some action steps they can work on?
I would strongly encourage couples, as difficult and as challenging as it is, to sit down and communicate over resources, over your finances, because it's sticky. It's personal. About 20 years ago, I went to an organization to kind of help me be able to manage our family's resources. And the counselor told me, said, let's do a budget. Because the average family don't know where their money is going.
Correct.
When couples come in here, I ask them for a budget, and they bring me the budget back and look through, and I see they pay $350 a month for groceries, and then $400 a month eating out.
Mhm.
Okay, so what are you doing with the groceries?
What you
That's
doing
right. Yeah,
with
right.
the groceries?
All right.
What-
So
make
see,
it make
most
sense.
most of us don't know where our money is going,
Correct.
and it's not the big bills that ruin credit.
Mm.
It's a little
It's a little
small.
bit.
It says Macy's.
Every time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, it's J.C. Penney's.
Absolutely.
Penay.
It's Neiman. Yeah, it's Neiman Marcus.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna pay the mortgage,
Yeah.
Right.
we're gonna pay the utilities, we're gonna pay the car note,
Yeah.
but then we don't count. You know, my haircut is costing me $150 a month, but we don't put that in
No,
there.
of course not.
I almost said stockings. Women don't even stockings anymore. But it's those little small items that we
Right.
don't keep track of that up how much. So, and the counselor told me it's going to take us about 6 months
Mm.
to find out where your money is going.
Mhm.
Mm.
And it got embarrassing. You know, I tease her all the time. She's retired about these retirement meals.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She didn't always feel like cooking.
Mhm.
All right. And we live in a neighborhood where down less than a mile down the road, you know, you got all these restaurants.
Oh, boy.
And so I come home and, okay, so we're eating a retirement meal tonight. Okay. Now, you know, we can afford that.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But there was a time when we couldn't.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right.
Absolutely.
And so couples just need to be aware that let's get a structured budget.
Mhm.
Let's see where our money is
Mhm.
going, and let's see if there are some things that you know we can do without. Do we need to eat out 4 and 5 times a week?
Yeah.
All right, because restaurants now are just absolutely stupid. All right.
Really quick, Michelle Walker Brown says, such a great discussion. Sister Ira Booker says, thank you, brother and Sister Barclay. Thank you, Fred and Kelly. Kendra, thank you for this discussion. Ira Booker, again, money separates if there is no communication.
Mhm.
Sandra Yvette Kraft says, great discussion. Shannon Adams says, let's leave Neiman Markup out of it. That's Steve Adams.
I know who she is.
Great discussion. Again, everyone is saying great discussion. And so we just want to thank y'all. I just like to run through a few of the comments every so often, but we
Mhm.
want to thank y'all so much again for
Thank
taking out the time. Sister Shirley is sleepy right now. I know it's past her bedtime. We love y'all. We need y'all to go like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be putting this up on the actual channel in about a week to come, so you can go back and watch it as much as you need to. I hope you learned something from tonight, Fred.
Yeah.
Did we
Communicate?
communicate? Yep.
I mean, you have to start somewhere.
Yep.
Sit down and talk. You know?
Sit
I
down
think,
and
I think
talk.
that's the initial thing. Yeah, sit down and actually talk
Talk about
the budget.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, talk about the day we said I do.
I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
What he said in the beginning about promise on the perfect day, and then life starts happening.
Life starts
Mhm.
happening.
So the action step for this week, the Neil's Appeal, y'all sit down and discuss this money, talk about this thing, because this is one of the main things that keep us from staying in covenant, that we allow to keep us from staying in covenant. We love y'all, and we're gonna get out of here. We got to get back to Raleigh. We love y'all. Fred, anything else? Good. Barclay, y'all wave bye to the people.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Sister
you.
Barclay.
Bye bye.